Home prices have gone up 20% and even 30% in some cities. So many people are asking themselves, should I rent or should I buy? What should I do? Prices are out of control. I don't know which is gonna be the best for me. So in this video, we're gonna be going exactly over that. Should you rent or should you buy? At what point are you in your life and which is gonna be the better choice? So let's not waste any more time and let's jump into the video right now. Hello everyone, what is going on? Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Should I rent or should I buy? For those of you that don't know me, my name is Waisfeld. I'm a local real estate agent down here in Miami. And if you are interested in moving to Miami, please feel free to reach out to us anytime. My team and I would love to help you and get you settled down here in Miami. I am a Miami native. I've been here almost my whole life. I've lived in so much different neighborhoods, so I can certainly help you make the right choice and the best decision when it comes to purchasing a property, relocating to Miami, whatever it may be. I have tons of contacts and I'll be more than happy to be of service for you. Anyway, let's jump into the video. Renting or buying, which one should I do? Let me just start off the video with this. This is a stat that I found from Zillow. Homeowners are 40% wealthier than renters. Homeowners are 40% wealthier than renters. Let me just put that to the side. It does not mean that renting or buying is gonna be a better choice for you. It's gonna really depend on your situation in your life. Where are you in your life? What is your idea? What is your future? What do you see that's gonna be happening in the next few years? It's gonna really determine, that's really gonna determine, which is gonna be the best option for you, and I'm gonna jump into that right now. Let's talk about the first thing. You can either purchase a property, own an asset, right? Probably the biggest purchase in your lifetime, or you can keep renting and throwing money away. I mean, that is 100%, there's no questions about that, right? That is just a fact. You're either gonna buy something and own an asset, or you're gonna keep renting and that money just, doesn't go anywhere, right? So you have to think about that first of all, right? Okay, cool. If I own, I'm gonna have an asset. It's not a waste of money, and it's not just doing it just to do it. No, you have to think about it as an actual asset. You're gonna be owning a large asset, and you also gotta think about it as an investment. As you can even think about it as a savings account. Okay, every single month you're gonna be paying down that mortgage. You're gonna be paying in the beginning years. It's gonna be very little that's gonna be paid towards your principal. Okay, but still, you're still putting money towards your own investment, right? So it's kind of like a savings account. The other way, with the renting, you're just giving the landlord money, which is a great thing, right? I'm a landlord. I own a few properties, few investment properties, and they pay rent. That's just the way it is for some people. So it's no problem with that either. Renting, there's no problem with that. You just have to see which is gonna be better for you, right? But when you rent, the truth is, realistically, you're throwing that money away. It's not going anywhere other than the landlord's bank account or pocket, or paying down the landlord's investment, right? Or loan if they have one, like myself, right? So first you have to think about that. Second thing you gotta think about is, okay, where am I in my life, right? Am I a person that works at different locations and I move a lot? Am I a person that's not really stable? I've lived here, I lived in South Florida for a few years. Now I'm ready to travel somewhere else, live somewhere else, or vice versa, right? I live out of state, I wanna move to Florida, I wanna move somewhere, I'm thinking, should I buy? Well, you have to really see how long you're gonna be in that place. Is it gonna be 1 year? Is it gonna be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? You have to really think of that. Why do you need to think of that? Because in my opinion, and from looking at numbers and doing this every single day, I would come to realize that if you're gonna be moving in between 1 to 3 years, even maybe 4 years, it may not be worth to buy, honestly. And I'm a real estate agent. I help people buy and sell properties, right? But what I've seen is that if you're gonna only live in the property for a few years, it may be worth to just rent. right? If you're gonna be moving out of the country, out of the state, or just leaving the area. It really depends, of course, right? Because then you can also buy it and keep it as an investment property. But let's just make it more simple. If you're gonna move out within a few years and you know that, or let's just say you may be thinking of buying something small, but you may be thinking of, having a family and, and having something larger. So you have to really think about these things. Why? Because owning could possibly be the same number as renting in today's market, because everything has gone up drastically, especially, even rents have gone up a lot. However, into purchasing, you need to think about the down payment, the closing cost. You need to think about maintenance. You need to think about if something comes up. It could be a large thing that comes up that was unexpected, right? So you need to think about all this money. So if you're gonna buy and pay all that money and then sell within a few years because you're moving out, you also gotta pay again commissions, closing costs, and different things to sell the property. So you're probably gonna come out way negative than if you were to just rent it, right? You just rent $2,000 a month, whatever that number may be, $3,000 a month. Yes, you're throwing the money away, but at the end of the day, when you do the math, comparing the purchasing for just a few years and then selling because you need to move out or something versus just renting, I highly suggest going towards the rental. And I really, really do. I've seen these numbers once and again and again. I've seen it over and over, and I always realize that if you're only gonna live in the property and then move out in a few years, renting is gonna be the best. However, you do have the choice of saying, okay, let's just say I have everything required to qualify for a loan, to purchase a property. I have the money, I have the down payment, and I probably am going to move in a few years. I don't know what's gonna be. My life may not be too stable. I may be, building a family or not. But if you purchase a property and then you say you move out, but you don't sell it and you think of renting it, that's also a really good idea as well, right? Of course, if the numbers make sense. If you're gonna go that route, you just need to make sure that within a few years, when you move out of that property, that the rental covers everything, right? Unless you wanna be negative. I never suggest any of my clients to be negative on their cash flow, on their monthly, right? So if you're gonna purchase this property and you're gonna live there for a few years, great, and then you move out, you're like, okay, I'm not gonna sell it, I'm gonna rent it out, right? You need to make sure that rent covers everything, right? So you need to analyze that. This is what I do every single day. So if you need help doing that, I'll be more than happy to assist you in that, help you, show you some numbers, and see if it makes sense. Many times properties don't make sense. Many times your monthly payments may be at $3,000 and it only rents for $2,500. So why be $500 out of pocket? Then you're doing a really big mistake, in my point of view, unless you have another idea. As with that investment, maybe you're buying in an area where in the next 5 years it's gonna grow, so you may be negative for a few years, but then that there's gonna be large appreciation in the neighborhood. Let's just say you're gonna make a great return when it comes to selling in a few years, right? That's probably a little bit more advanced investor mentality, but that could probably be a choice. But still, I don't really recommend that. Now let's go back to the renting versus buying. Renting, it really depends. Again, how many years are you gonna live there? You're pretty much just throwing money away. Then a few negative things with renting comparing to buying that you have to think about is, hey, if I rent, I don't know next year what's gonna happen. They could probably raise the rent. Like right now with all the market going up drastically, I've had a lot of clients, a lot of people that I know that rent, their rent has gone up $500, $700, $1,000, some people even above $1,000 a month. So if you know you have a set budget with your income and your expenses and now your rent goes up $500, you have to really see what you're gonna do, right? When you purchase, you know your fixed cost per month, right? Yes, insurance may go up, and yes, taxes go up very little, about a 3% per year if you have it homesteaded. So there's not that much that is gonna go up when you purchase a home and you have the fixed rates. The next thing that you need to keep in mind is gonna be equity, right? It's gonna be the equity. When you're renting, you're not building equity at all. Again, you're throwing money away, or you're paying, or the landlord is building equity. You are not. When you are a homeowner, you're building equity. Again, it's like a savings account, a piggy bank. You're paying every single month towards that principal. You're bringing the principal down, you're bringing the debt that you have with the bank, you're bringing it down. And most likely there's gonna also be appreciation because home prices have gone up, right? There's only been very few times in a 30-year history the prices have actually dipped a little bit. Very, very little, okay? So don't think the prices are gonna go down because it's only happened, I believe, 3 times in 30 years, in the '09, and during the pandemic, and I think in the 90s or the 80s or something like that. They've gone up very little, right? So a lot of people reach out, or a lot of people ask you, oh, but home prices may go down. It only happened 3 times in 30 years, right? Like right now, the pandemic, it dipped a little bit, and now prices have, skyrocketed, right? But also rents have as well. So you have to really keep that in mind. So anyway, you're building equity, right? Paying down the mortgage, and there's gonna be appreciation most likely. So that difference is your profit, right? That's gonna be your profit. That's called equity. So you're building that equity. How do most people in the United States of America build wealth? Through real estate and through their equity. Bringing down their loans, right? Bringing down their mortgages, paying down their debt, and then home price appreciation. They build that debt, okay? So the other way with renting, you don't build any equity at all. So you have to really, really think about which one is gonna be the best for you. Especially if you're gonna be paying $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 of rent, that could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 per year that you're throwing money away. Think about it. It's a lot of money that you could have put down towards your savings, towards your equity of the property, right? Let's just say you do have this equity in this home, right? Let's just say you, the past 5 years, home prices have gone up, you paid down your debt, and now you have, let's just say $100,000 equity, which is very, very realistic in today's market, right? $100,000 equity, right? Let's just say you buy a $500,000 property, in 5 years it's probably worth $600,000, or let's just say it's not worth $600,000. Let's just say it's worth $560,000, but you've also paid down $30,000, $40,000 of that loan, and you've also put down the down payment on the property, so that also brings down, that also gives you like equity, right? It's like you're putting down payment is pretty much putting towards your home, right? The value of your home. So let's just say you have $100,000 equity in that property. You can do things with that $100,000 if you wanted to. There's a lot of investors. It's a little bit more advanced, but you could do cash out refinance, okay? You cash out, right, with the $100,000, and you could go and purchase another property or do something for investment purposes. Hopefully, don't go out there and buy a car or a yacht or a motorcycle and spend all the equity, because then you run into problems. But you can, so you can do that and purchase another investment property, or you could do a cash out. I mean, sorry, not a cash out, I just mentioned that. You could do a credit line. It's called a HELOC. You do a credit line, so pretty much you can pull out money. You don't have to pull out the whole $100,000. You can put out 50, 60 grand just for a down payment for an investment property. So now you could have 2 properties instead of 1. So there's so much things that you can do with owning a property and having equity that you cannot do at all with renting, right? So you have to really analyze those 2 things. Lastly, I want to talk about tax benefits. With renting, you have 0 tax benefits. With owning a property, you have many tax benefits, right? I'm not an accountant at all. I don't want to get into details, but you have many tax benefits, and it really, really will help you owning a property with your taxes. Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do there with owning a property and your taxes. So keep that in mind as well. And then lastly, of course, being at renting a property, there's a lot of things you cannot do, right? You can't modify, you can't knock down a wall, build something, you can't paint maybe a certain color. There's a lot of things you cannot do, right? Because there's a landlord that doesn't want you to do all these things. Owning a property, it's freedom, right? You do whatever you please, whatever you wish, and you can do to that property. So there's a lot of benefits. Again, you need to really be careful. How long am I gonna be in the city that I live in? What am I gonna do afterwards? If I buy a property, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna rent it out afterwards? If I leave, is it gonna cover everything? So maybe not. Maybe I go to renting if it's only gonna be a few years. But if it's gonna be 5 years or more, 4 or 5 years or more that I'm gonna live in the city, in this property, then for sure, you're gonna end up saving so much money. Build equity and all these things that I just mentioned. So you have to really think about it. Now you may be thinking, okay, Hans, how much is it worth? How much money do I need? What do I need to purchase this home? I'd rather buy, but how much money do I really need? What will my monthly payments be? Do you think it's gonna be worth paying, $3,000 and owning something versus maybe $2,000 and renting something? It's a lot of difference. And you are right, you have to really analyze those numbers as well. If the number doesn't make sense, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, the numbers don't really make sense. Maybe you should rent for a little bit, a little bit more, save up more money, or think if you're gonna get, see how you're gonna work it out. Because home prices have gone up a lot. So that means your payments have also gone up a lot. Rent as well. So there's a lot of things that you need to analyze. And again, I'll be more than happy to help you if you have any questions, anything you need to know about purchasing, numbers, analyzing best options. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Me and my team would love to show you properties and get you settled down here in Miami if that is your plan. If you're moving from out of state, we would love to help you. You have all our contact information down below. You can reach out to me at any time. WhatsApp, Instagram, email, call me, text me. I'll be more than happy to hear from you and help you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope it has helped you determine which is gonna be the best option for you. And if you are moving to South Florida, please don't forget that I just came out with the ultimate relocation guide for Miami, Florida, and it is amazing. It took me 5 months, almost 6 months honestly, to do this guide. It's so much work, there's so much that I've done to it, so to help you guys better understand the moving process, what you should know, what apps you should have, different areas. There's so much different things in this guide, so you can click below in the link in the description and it will take you to the guide. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next video.